The sun's rising over America. Bill Bennett's Morning in America. Intelligent, conservative conversation to start your day with top guests and your phone calls. Now, here's your guest host, Mark Davis.
Welcome to hour number 3, our final hour here together on Bill Bennett's Morning in America. Great to have you here. And what better way to start off? I mean, obviously here on the Friday show, we're looking backward a lot at things that have come the week so far, but we're also looking ahead into the weekend and to today's action, and there will be plenty of it. Appearing before the House Ways and Means Committee will be Stephen Miller, who for a little while there was interim commissioner of the IRS until President Obama stepped forward and announced that Treasury Secretary Jack Lew had relieved him of that duty. Well, he was the acting guy anyway. He was on the way out anyway. How big a deal is that? Is that really a guy falling on his sword that much? It is a pleasure to welcome one of the members of Congress in that Ways and Means Committee who are going to be doing some of the questioning of Mr. Miller, and that is second-term proud Republican Congressman Tim Griffin of Arkansas. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Great to have you. It's such a target-rich environment. Where really does your committee begin today? First of all, what time does this get kicked off so that we can
9 o'clock.
Very good. 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central. Everybody else do the math. It's going to be interesting. And where do you think it will begin?
Well, I think that there are a number of pretty basic questions we still haven't gotten complete answers to. This will probably be the first of many attempts to get to the truth. So I don't think anyone plans on learning everything we need to know today. I think that you got to start somewhere, and as I know, having been a staffer on Capitol Hill before I came to Congress as a member of Congress, you know, when things like this break in the news, they're never static. They're always developing, and there will always be new things. But I think one of the fundamental questions is, why didn't folks at the IRS update members of Congress on these issues when they learned that this was going on? And the reason I say that is because questions about these sorts of activities had been asked by members of Congress in hearings, in letters, etc., and there had been denials from the IRS. Well, there's an ongoing responsibility, obligation to update or correct information that may be erroneous if folks at the agencies learn new things. And there was never an attempt to say, hey, you asked me this in a hearing. I said that there was nothing going on. I've learned that there is something going on. We need to tell you about this. That never occurred. So that's a real interesting area to explore of why we weren't told. Another issue is the individual who is in charge of the exempt organizations section at the IRS, the section that deals with granting nonprofit status to some of these groups that were discriminated against. She's still at the IRS. She wasn't fired. She was moved over and put in charge of Obamacare compliance at the IRS.
This is the now famous Sarah Hall Ingram.
Yes,
And let's back up. Congressman Tim Griffin is with us, Republican of Arkansas, on the Ways and Means Committee. So let's set this up because there's a lot of attention to this, and there, as with anything, you very responsibly and coherently put it out. There are things we know, things we don't know. That's why we have hearings. Sarah Hall Ingram was, during that key time, 09 to 12, part of the IRS oversight of tax-exempt status. This was sort of her world. She's not there anymore. Where she is now is in the new most noteworthy and newsworthy way to serve in the IRS, and that is through the Obamacare enforcement.
Precisely. And we want to know, why wouldn't someone like that lose their job? And, you know, we've heard other folks referred to as having been disciplined for this sort of behavior of discriminating against groups and what have you. And I want to know what sort of discipline short of firing somebody are they handing out at the IRS, and what's going on with that?
Yeah,
I mean, there's so many fundamental questions. But let me put in a plug for tax reform real quickly. A lot of people wondering what impact this has on fundamental tax reform, which we are working on in the Ways and Means Committee. I think this is another argument in favor of tax reform. If you want to reduce the power of the IRS, you must reduce the complexity of the tax code. It is the complexity and the nuance in the 60,000-page, complicated, ridiculous tax code that empowers the many people at the IRS to determine whether you are in compliance or not. And I'll tell you, you're going to love this or hate it. Last night, a constituent of mine emailed me. He's being audited, and he sent me a text. He said, the IRS asked me this morning how much money I usually carried in my wallet.
What?
And he said, what business is that of theirs? I said, that can't be true. I'm reading from my text right now. I said, that can't be true. Really? How did they ask? He said she had a computer and was simply going down a list of questions. My accountant was in the meeting, and we discussed both questions and why they had any right to ask them, but they did. And I said, that's ridiculous.
Did anybody ask, why are you asking me this?
She was just going down a list. And
no, but
so
I know, but if somebody's going down a list and I get hit with that question, I'm going to say, not only am I not answering you, but I really need to know why in God's name you're asking me this.
He says here that she had the right to ask. That's what she responded. And then he said, I said, would you swear under oath that this actually occurred? He said, absolutely. He said it occurred.
Okay. All right, let me do 60 more seconds on tax reform and then back to today's action. And I praise you for heading there, because that ultimately, when all of this is settled, however it gets settled, the continuing mission is tax reform. And you're totally right. It's a great opportunity amid all the things we're thinking about the IRS. Let's use this as a moment to hit the pause button and say, you know what? Part of the problem is that the IRS is a monster, a multi-headed hydra. So let me ask you, Congressman Tim Griffin, are you a flat tax guy or a sales tax guy?
Well, as a member of the Ways and Means Committee, I am going to be absolutely for the bill that we bring out of committee. We're working on it, and historically, when I was running for Congress, I was more of a flat tax guy.
Okay.
I'm not a fair tax guy, but we're going to have a great.
Then can I ask you something? Because I'm a flat tax guy too. First of all, let's join together and say we would take either of them over the status quo in a heartbeat. Right? With me so far?
Yes, and I will say this. What we come up with will be fairer and flatter and less complex.
Well, help me out here, because I know you get them, because they are a passionate lot, and I love them. I'm a flat tax guy. Reduce the IRS to a postcard processing facility. What did you make? Give us 17%. Thank you very much. We're done. The sales tax people, though, come at us with a very compelling argument. No tax avoidance. The drug dealer buys a Lamborghini. He gets taxed. And I love that, but there's some things I don't like. The unpredictability of revenue, the barter economy, give me with
on the impact on the economy. If you look at what has, it's not exactly the same, but there are some similarities to what Europe has. I was over there for a couple of years.
The value-added tax.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But look, there are better ways to do what we're doing. Estonia takes, the little country of Estonia has a flat tax. It takes the average Estonian 15 minutes to pay their taxes every year. We don't need to adopt their system necessarily, but the point is we can do better.
Let's not be like Greece. Let's be like Estonia. I think we just made a T-shirt. Final 60 seconds, Congressman Tim Griffin. So by the time today is over, what do you think we will have learned? What do you think the headline will be from the hearings with former IRS guy Steve Miller?
Well, I think that we will have learned that this is just the tip of the iceberg at the IRS, and that it is wider spread than we've been led to believe. It not only did it go beyond Ohio, but it goes beyond the people that we have already heard about in the press in Washington. and it's going to take a while to get to the bottom of it. I will follow the facts and not prejudge it, but I will tell you this thing stinks.
Well, I tell you what, let's finish boldly, and we have Congressman Tim Griffin out of Arkansas. Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you. I was going to say have a great weekend, but first have a very productive day today. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. My pleasure. Bye-bye. Congressman Tim Griffin, Republican out of the 3rd District of Arkansas. Little Rock, from Little Rock to Conway to Searcy. That's your congressman, proudly so.